And it's 4 p.m. and it is TIP Annual Conference 2021. I am your host today. My name is Wendy Ologe, and I'm the founder of the Intentional Parent Academy. It is amazing, good, exciting to be here today. It is parenting today for tomorrow. It's TIP Annual Conference 2021. If you're here and you're glad to be here, remember that we love the fire emojis a lot. Yep, 28 people already watching. This is going to be hot. Let's see the fire emojis in the comment section. Yes. Our speaker is in the studio. We have 35 persons watching already. We are live and streaming. Tell whoever cares to know. We're going to be bringing up Isaac Onoja's profile in a while. But before then, I just want to share a bit about the Intentional Parent and the TIP Annual Conference with you. The TIP Annual Conference is a platform that the TIP Academy have actually used to be able to reach out to people all over the world. One of the things that we have realized is that the more parenting education that we have, the more we're going to have a better world. And one of the things that we've done at the Academy is to set a pace. And we have done this for 4 years. This is our 4th year doing this. The TIP Annual Conference goes back to back and becomes bigger every year. This year we have 30 coaches in a row. Oh my goodness. 30 coaches in a row. You don't want to miss any of the sessions. Trust me, we are bringing it hot, sizzling hot to you. Get your papers, get your book. I hope you have your jotter. TIP Annual Conference is one of the most exciting thing that happens to us in the Academy. I'm excited. I don't know about you. Oh, yes, I am excited. It is one of the platforms that we have used to impact over and again. And whenever I remember the TIP Annual Conference, I am glad that God has actually made this happen. I want to give thanks to God for an opportunity to impact. I want to thank every single one of my team members for doing this so passionately. You don't want to know the amount of passion that have gone into this whole conference in the past 1 month. It's been amazing. Some of us haven't slept for days, but we're here because we know that there is something about this generation that we are called to do and to transform. Thank you also for being here. I hope your jotters are ready. And also the Intentional Parent Academy is about, raising parents who do things differently. I was reading something recently and I saw that the foundation of whatever it is that we are going to be laying for the next generation, which will include their emotions, which will include their mental health, which will include everything about them, it's actually being determined by you and I. The question is, what exactly are we sowing in the lives of this generation? If the foundation of whatever it is that we want to see will be determined by you and I. Today, I want you to sit back, think through, and actually begin to put your process in perspective. Get your book, pick up the points. We have experts in the room. Don't miss an opportunity to change and transform your journey. Be here like you are here with your whole mind. The Intentional Parent Academy runs many programs, many programs, and one of it, which is our most successful, I call it the most successful program we've run, is the TIP Inner Circle. During this conference, we're going to be showing you what the Inner Circle have done in the lives of so many parents who have come to us to share their testimonials about being in the Inner Circle. We're going to be sharing with you a few of the videos as we go on. But before then, let us get down to business. Again, my name is Wendy Ologe, your chief servant at the Intentional Parent Academy. You are welcome here. And while we're at it, let us listen to who our very first speaker is.
Isaac Onoja is the Managing Director of Corporate Orium Nigeria Limited and Mind and Emotion Center, which combine a targeted health of the mind, body, and spirit, and distribution of health products. He is a pharmacist and 6 Seconds certified emotional intelligence practitioner, assessor, and advanced trainer. He is also a Century Anger and Stress Management, Business Administration, Reflexologist, and Neuro-Linguistic Programming trainer. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome to the 2021 Intentional Parents Conference, Isaac Onoja.
And Isaac Onoja is here. Thank you for being here, sir. And one of the things that you want to note about this speaker today that is opening the conference, you know when they say that the coach also have a coach. This is one of them. This is a mentor, a friend, the coach. Isaac Onoja is a man I hunted down for 2 years, listening to him on radio. The first day I met him, I knew that this was it. Thank you so much, sir, for doing this again and again. The floor is yours, and I leave you to it.
Thank you very much, and good evening to all our listeners and those available. Thank you to Wendy for this opportunity to share in this conference. The Intentional Parenting Academy has been doing a great work in our country and around the world, and we're very grateful for this initiative that you are able to put together and you're running very passionately. Thank you very much for this time. And today, our topic, what I'm going to be handling, is understanding your emotions for effective parenting. Understanding your emotions for effective parenting. First of all, let's talk about who is a parent. You know, many people are in doubt of who a parent is. A parent is a caregiver to an offspring, especially according to species, a parent. So if you have a child, you are a father or a mother to a child, you become a parent when you provide care, when you are a caregiver. Very, very important. And what is care? Care is the process of providing and protecting someone or something. Now listen now, providing, protecting someone or something. You provide for and you protect from. Providing for and protecting from. So once they call you a parent, you're a caregiver. That means you provide for and you protect from. You provide the need, you protect them from threats and harm. So if you do anything contrary, you may not be fulfilling or you may not be falling in this equation of a parent or concept of who a parent is. Now, there's what we call accidental parenting and intentional parenting. Many of us have been accidental parents. Accidental. You know, imagine an accident, a motor vehicle accident. And imagine the casualty, and many times you find from accidents that people actually die. Sometimes sometimes the accidents leave people with pains, leaves them with injuries and scars for life. So an accidental parent is simply a parent who does things by only waiting for things to happen and just having a fire brigade approach, or a parent who mostly reacts instead of respond. An accidental parent mostly reacts instead of responds to situations of the family. In the family. So we have talked about who a parent is: caregiver, protecting, providing, very, very important. And an accidental parent reacts, not responds. But an intentional parent responds or responds, but not react. You find out where the difference between response and reaction. Now, in Latin, motere, M-O-T-E-R-E, is a word for emotions, motere. And it also means to motivate. In Latin, motere means to motivate. So when we talk about emotions, emotions motivate. Your motivator are your emotions. Your executive function are emotions. Imagine this. Think about this. For instance, in governance, in government, you have the executive, the legislators, and the judiciary. Now, something happens, the legislator may not be able to do much, or even all their laws they pass may not get to become laws in themselves until the executive appends, or the man with executive function appends the signature. Your emotions are the ones responsible for your activity. Whatever we see physically comes from emotions. So we must look at emotions critically. We say emotions drive people. Now, many of us like to go to the spa, right? Spa, you go have a massage, you go. But today, let's talk about the spa of emotions. So 3 philosophers who have said some things about emotions. Spa, S-P-A. Socrates said, man, know thyself. Man, know thyself. Here he's talking about self-knowledge, to know who you are. Self-knowledge will bring, will help you to be able to navigate through the pressures of life. Do you know who you are? Do you know what you carry? Do you know your functionality? Do you know how you function? Plato said, human behavior flows from 3 sources: desire, emotions, and knowledge. Human behavior flows from 3 sources: desire, emotions, and knowledge. So when we look at emotions, you see desire, emotions, and knowledge. If you want to change the behavior of a nation, you look at the desires of the people, their emotions, and knowledge. Very critical things that 3 sources of behavioral change. Emotions. So if you want to change the emotional situation or behaviors of people, you don't begin to look at external things. You look at what's their desire, what's the driving force, what's the emotion behind the desire, and what knowledge do they have. Knowledge is very important. As we all know, people do not really die because they have no money. People do not really die or perish because they have no houses or no cars or no friends or no neighbors or no water or no food. People actually perish because they lack knowledge. Knowledge is very powerful. And once people lack knowledge, they are not able to perform and they may not succeed in life. Now, what did Aristotle say about emotions? Aristotle said, anyone can become angry. That is easy. But to be angry with the right person, at the right time, and for the right purpose, and in the right way, that is not within everybody's power, and that is not easy. Now, what do we find here? We have the right person, the right time, the right purpose, and the right way. Anger. Now, people talk about anger so much, and they seem to speak about anger as if anger is a negative emotion. Let me tell you, I'm an anger management professional, and there's something you need to know about anger. Anger is a very beneficial hormone or emotion. Very, very beneficial. In fact, if you want to be a billionaire, you will not be able to achieve it if you're not a very angry person. I want to be a billionaire so freaking bad, right? You want to be a billionaire? You must be very angry. But now, this anger is not the anger of the poor. The billionaires mix their anger with love. And when anger is mixed with love and blended sufficiently, it produces passion. Passion drives you to achieve your results. You know, so you want to be able to, anger is very important. Many people see, and what is anger telling you? Emotions, anger is an emotion. Anger is telling you something is standing in my way. Next, what do I have to do? Next, how do I surmount this? Emotions are feedback. Emotions are data. Emotions are valuable. Emotions are physiological. Emotions are natural. So all these things I've just mentioned, emotions are natural, physiological, they are valuable. Anger is natural, anger is physiological, anger is valuable, anger is feedback, anger is data. Now, but what do you do with data? If, for instance, we say 60% of the population of the world are women and 40 are men. What if you leave that as data, it remains like that. But somebody can take that and begin to do something with it and say, okay, if 60% of women of the population of the world are women, then we want to do a project. Let's see how we can integrate this 60% in our project to be able to achieve our results. So you have now used this data for the purpose of growing or developing a society. Anger is natural. Now, two emotions that we must look at, and two fundamental emotions are love, and anger. Physiologically, anger is there to help you in doing what we call self-preservation. Self-preservation, to preserve yourself, to exist, to live, to be alive. You need those emotions to be able to stay alive. Now we're talking about parenting, using understanding your emotions for effective parenting. Now you're dealing with yourself as a parent, a man, husband, wife, a woman, wife, or my woman, mother. Now having a child. So three people are in this equation now. The man, the father, the mother, and the child. Now, but in parenting is more about the parents than it is of the children. Now you are the giver. Remember, you are a protector and a provider. So it's about you. So whatever the children get is all that you have. So if you have, that's why I've been to Singapore several times, and I love the way they operate there. As a woman, you cannot get married except you have a level, you attain a certain level of education, because they say that the education of the woman determines how far the child will go, including that of the father too. But look at, you don't just get married, because most parts of the world, and especially in Africa, where people don't really consider the educational status of the woman. They just feel you're just a woman, you're up to 12, 13, 14, as the case may be. You can just get married and just begin to produce children. No, they have a reason for that the knowledge base, the exposure of a mother and a father will determine the extent to which a child will grow. That means, remember, we talk about caregiving. To give care is to provide and to protect, to provide for the child education, to support the child in the educational process is the duty of the parents. So, for instance, if you don't have a parent who is educationally sound or has a certain level of education, and the child begins to go to school, if the child is given some homework, when the child gets home, the child may not be able to do that homework well, because the parents are not able to support. We're not saying to help to do, to support, to help to clarify, to bring to help the child to understand the concept of which the exercise is meant to be done in. So the education, the level of education of the child is very, very, of the parents is very, very important. That is why I tell parents, you see, as you begin to grow as parents, you need to improve and continue to increase your level, your knowledge base. Knowledge is critical. Remember what Plato said? 3 sources of human behavior: desire, emotion, and knowledge. So if you are behaving a certain way, it's based on the fact that your knowledge in that, is just low in that area. Sometimes I go into argument with some people, and so I just, after a while, I stop arguing, because they don't know as much as I do. So I allow their ignorance and just allow them to just talk and go. Because if you don't know, he that does not know and does not want to know is a very big problem. We have many people like that. They don't know. They don't want to know. They argue with you that they even know. So you cannot help such an individual. So for everyone, for every parent, protection and provision is very, very important. Now, let me tell you something about when we talk about emotions. Emotions are produced in the brain. Let me give you the fundamental, the understanding of where emotions are produced. Now, remember, there are three fundamental units of the brain that we must look at to be able to understand the concept of emotions and emotional intelligence as we go. Now, we have the midbrain, which is responsible for respiration, for breathing, respiration, yes, the breathing, and for protecting the individual in getting the food and having to preserve itself from praise and all that. That's the midbrain. Now we now come to the limbic system. The limbic system is the seat of emotion. Now, the growing process in what we call embryology, in the development of the human brain, the midbrain started, the growth began with the midbrain, and the midbrain extends to begin to grow the limbic system, which is the emotional brain. The emotional brain has two fundamental parts, the amygdala and what we call the hippocampus. The amygdala is like the alarm system of the body, is the one that keeps the records of emotional events. Emotional events, I say, very, very important. They keep the record of emotional events. It's the amygdala that tells you, once you see somebody and say, this is a human being, once you see somebody, this is a human being, the amygdala is the one that tells you he doesn't like you. When you say he doesn't like you, comes from the amygdala, that is something stored about this person in your brain that tells you he doesn't like you. That's the amygdala. Then the hippocampus, what's it responsible for? It's responsible for learning, for memory, and for experience. Listen now, very important. Learning, memory, and experience. So as a parent, if you're not giving your child, if your child is not getting a very good experience, like I'll give you a story of one woman who came to me to help me, asked me to help her talk to her child so that when she goes abroad, she was going to go to school abroad, and when she gets abroad, she will come back home for holidays and all that. So now, do you know what I told the woman? I asked her, I said, first question, have you provided a conducive environment that has provided a sufficient experience to this girl? She said, what do I mean? I said, does this child have sufficient experience that you are provided in this house that will make her to leave the country she's going abroad to come back home to this house? She couldn't comprehend it. I had to explain to her. And this was why. If there is no sufficient experience for this child at home here to look forward to, the child will not come back. And like me, if I don't get experience from anywhere, you want me to go back there, I wouldn't go back there again. If your spouse took you to Disneyland, the United States of America, and you took a picture with Mickey Mouse, excited, oh, you love Mickey Mouse, and you took that picture with Mickey Mouse, and you came back to Nigeria, and suddenly, in relationships, you find conflicts and all that, and your husband offended you, and you wanted to rise to fight him, that kind of rising to fight, As you were about to rise to fight your husband, the hippocampus plays a clear video to you of the experience you had in the United States at Disneyland with a picture with Mickey Mouse. Once you see that picture, it deflates your anger, it deflates your fighting mood. Why? It was a lovely, pleasurable experience. That was provided to you by the hippocampus. Today, we have a lot of problems in homes with parents and children, because the children have not had quality experience. Their hippocampus cannot provide quality experience that can make them come back home, or that can make them take care of their parents, or that can make them support their parents in the days of their difficulty. That is why today you find many old people are having to go and stay in old people's homes. I'm not saying this in there are some people that will have to go and see old people's homes because of some reason, but there are some children who say my parents I cannot bring them to my house even when they are old because of the way I was treated. Why? They've not had a pleasurable hippocampal experience. Each time they think about their parents, what they think about is negative. What they think about is pain. When they think about it, is pain. How they were. Some children even look at it, and whenever they think about their parents, they look at their arm. They see the scar from the heat, from the beating. Some they see their one blind eye from the hitting of the mother. The mothers and fathers slapping. You slapped a child, and the child went blind, or you slapped him and he became deaf. Each time he thinks about you, he remembers how he got his one blind eye. Each time he thinks about you, the hippocampus has negative experiences. The hippocampus is responsible for memory. What do you remember? If you want to remember things, you must feed your hippocampus. Your hippocampus is the one that does that for you. And you see, in neuroscience, once the child is born from day 1 to 7 years, the child's theta wave, there are about 3 or 4 waves in the brain: theta, alpha, theta, beta, and delta waves of the brain. The theta wave is responsible for that learning, what you call the subconscious learning without words being spoken. 1 day to 7 years, the child looks at you, and from your experience, from the energy from you. Now, let me say this. I did a course in energy medicine, sound therapy, and color therapy, and what I found transformed me. That life, everything about life is about energy. As a parent, you may think you're not doing anything to you. Law of conservation of energy states that energy can neither be created nor destroyed, but can only be transformed from one form to another. Some people transform emotional energy. Instead of producing a positive effect or positive vibration in their children, that energy is transformed to a negative effect in that child, and is now stored in the hippocampus as a very negative experience. The child has that memory. Now, at age 1, from age 1 to 7 years, a child, the memory is like you just pour water, like you know this sponge. You put sponge in water, it keeps sucking up those things and is storing it in the subconscious mind. And let me tell you, you don't need to do anything. The subconscious mind keeps storing. And what is happening is this: if you repeat something 7 times, it becomes the reality for the subconscious mind. It is stored as an activity carried out or activity done. Now, memory will now have what you call the short-term memory. The short-term memory is repeat. Principle of short-term memory, repeat. Principle of long-term memory, remember to repeat. Principle of short-term memory, repeat. Principle of long-term memory, remember to repeat. So if the hippocampus has this repeat, it puts it to short-term memory. If it now remembers to repeat, the experience that you created from your kind of parenting, that child will now begin to live your own life. Which is why today, the other day I was trying to explain to someone why you don't need to hit a child, why you don't need to hit a child going forward. And the person could not understand me. Why? The person was raised in a family where hitting, hit, repeat, hit, repeat. Then remember to repeat. He remembers to repeat. Is now cast. Now, the question now is, what do you want to achieve when you hit? Do you achieve it? Now, let me talk about project, outcome, and impact. What's the project? To get this child to become an effective and excellent child that will serve people and to deliver his purpose to this world. Outcome. The outcome that you want is like the result of the project. And what ultimately becomes the impact is what we can see. what we can see. Let me give you a story. There was a story in India. There's this group, this organization went to India, and because of the impoverished nature of this community that they went, they decided to drill a borehole. They didn't have water. They had to travel a very long distance every day to get water for cooking and for drinking. So the organization now took it upon themselves to provide water, and by drilling a borehole. Once they dug the borehole, they drilled the borehole, they got water, and they were so excited. They were very excited about the water, but something happened. After a few days, the individuals in the community, the men, in fact, went and destroyed the borehole. So they were very amazed that that happened, and no more water, and the children will have to go and fetch water from a very long distance every morning. So they now came to ask questions. See now, before they did the project, they did not have a conversation to ask the people their needs. They went and assumed that water was the need of these people, and that they could drill what borehole for them to have water at that house. So the people now told them, no, we don't want this water. We stopped it. They said, why? Water is good for you. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, you know what they said? The men came to them and said, listen, since you drill this borehole, we can no longer have sex with our wives. Say, what do you mean? He said, each morning, because of the distance of the pool, of the place they get the water, when our children leave home to go and fetch water, that's the time we have to have sex, because we all live in one room. Because we are poor, we live in this one room, so we cannot have sex here when they are here. So it's early in the morning when they move to fetch water that we have to us. We can no longer have sex, and we can't continue like that. That's why we destroyed the borehole. Now listen now. The project, the outcome they desired, their own outcome. They desired water, yes, they got water. But what was the impact? The impact was not complete. It was not done. They did not achieve any impact because the people did not agree. They were not in agreement with the location for the drilling of the borehole. So the hippocampus, I'm trying to draw something there. The hippocampus will tell you, memory, repeat, remember to repeat. What will become the impact of that? You now have a long-term memory. You now have a memory that is pleasant. And for your information, to learn is a hippocampal activity. And the hippocampus needs fun. That is why everything is what we call, is under fundamentals. Fundamentals. Before mentals, there must be fun. Fundamentals. Fundamentals. Fun. There's no fun. I was paid to teach this. Don't learn from people. No mentals can take place. Today we have a lot of no mentals going on because no fun. The hippocampus wants some fun, wants to remember some fun moments, wants to keep the memory of fun moments. Now that is the limbic system. I've just tried to make you understand how the wiring comes in for you to know what is going on. With the reason why you must create a hippocampal experience with your child, but it's an emotional thing. And once emotions are connected, for information, even in sales, when we teach sales, in selling is purely an emotional thing. The heart will buy, the pocket pays. If the heart doesn't buy, the pocket will not be moved to pay. For instance, you get into a shop with your child, 2-year-old, and the salesperson just goes, and your child, children will always be children, tries to go touch this and touch, and the salesperson, Can't you stop your child? Can't you stop? The message you get is that this person does not love my child. And because the person does not love my child, this whole shop, they are anti-children. If they are anti-children, why should I spend my money here? I go somewhere else. That decision is taken immediately, and you get out of that shop. That same shop, somebody else, another salesperson, that maybe somebody came there the next week, you find this very jolly salesperson. You see your child, wow, what's the name of your child? Oh, her name is Angela. Oh, Angela, how are you? Do you like lollipop? Do you like? What do you like? Okay, can I give you this? And tries to give your child something. Even if you had no plan to buy nothing in that shop, you will buy something. Why? There's an emotional connection with your child, and the moment that person connected with your child emotionally, that person has connected to your pocket. You release that money. So the hippocampus is responsible for that. Memory, remembers, quality, wow. He remembers that it just says Uncle John is coming. Hippocampus will play. This uncle that anytime he comes, he doesn't buy anything for us. Or they say, mommy is coming back from work, and your hippocampus plays, say, mommy coming back. Each time mommy comes, mommy complains about everything. Mommy is just complaining and shouting and everything. The hippocampus will say, what do you do? Self-preservation. Sends a message, say, preserve yourself. Everybody run around, go, don't see anything. Once she comes, just stay in your room until she calls. Because there's no self. Because there's no experience in the hippocampus. Emotional completely. You say you are a PhD holder, but your children, you cannot sit with your children and have a conversation. Because your emotional state, the energy from your emotion is negative. The energy is repulsive. It repels and pushes away the children. You see your children, you're unhappy. Now, there are so many things that can make a man or woman happy. If you lost your job, yes. But by the time you continue to release that negative energy, that emotional state will begin to destroy your quality of relationship with your children. And see, once that is established in the brain, it's difficult to erase. It can be, but you do a lot of work. Remember we talked about repeat and remember to repeat. You have to go back to begin to do activities, and you cannot say it. Things about emotion is not for you to say, okay, I have changed now. Tell your children, okay, come now, all of you now. Now I have changed. I'm now a brand new mommy. I'm a brand new daddy. No, it doesn't work. It's your actions and the energy from your emotions. Remember, emotions are energy. Energy. Remember, energy is your what? Capacity to do work. It means emotions do work. Emotions can work. Now, emotions can do positive work or negative work. Understanding your emotion. Now, as a parent, what emotions have you grown with? Have you've grown with negative emotions? No. You've grown with in a family where you were given things based on merit. Your love, the love of your parents towards you was conditional. If you didn't pass the exam, no love. If you didn't clean the room, no love. You will unconsciously do it to your children. And watch out, people will tell you, I'll make sure this thing doesn't happen to me. Many times it happens. Let me say, before I go into the next part of the brain called the prefrontal cortex, let me tell you about the editor. You know editor? The editor is the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind has gone through a process of what we call repeat, repeat, repeat. If you have a publishing house or you have a newspaper company, the most important person in that organization before a material is produced or material is published is who? The EDITOR, the editor. No matter how great your publication is, your article is, if you're not in good times with the editor, you will die with your publication, with your article. It will never be published. If the editor says no, is no. Now, the subconscious mind, which comes from the repetition that goes to the hippocampus, is the one responsible for all your activity. If, for instance, you find people, one thing you can do with subconscious mind is, they say, once information is not complete and it is given out and repeated, it can become stored. Example, some people, the peddlers of this world, they say, the passage of the scripture is, the love of money is the root of evil. But the peddler said, unconscious to them, unknown to them, they said, money is the root of all evil. Listen now, two things now. What was said, what was written was not what was conveyed to the people. The love of money is the root of all evil. But they said, money is the root of evil. Money is the root of all. And for 20 years, that person was hearing that money is the root of. Repeat. It is cast in that brain now. So anytime this person wants to increase in financial gains, money, the edit is the root of evil. Edit. So you're supposed to submit a project for a financial gain, and because it's for 10 million naira, you just editor, just the subconscious mind plays, money is the root of, this is so much money, 10 million, so much money. Editor shows up and begins to bring things that will not make you go. So the what do you call it now? The appearance was supposed to be at 10. Editor will not allow you to go. You arrive there at 12. And you'll be told, we're very sorry, you cannot go home. We have given the job to somebody else. Do you know what happened? Editor is one responsible. Now, I'm doing a course, and I'm almost done with money coaching to become a money coach. Ladies and gentlemen, some people's money problems is not local to them. Some people earn so much, but they are broke. They have no money. Something in what I saw there is something we must take seriously. And as parents, we created many times, you check, is from your father, grandfather, and great-grandfather. Do some extrapolation. There was a message passed that was not taken seriously. An editor took it, and up till today, you are still struggling. Let me tell you, going to work, some people's, what you call the rat race, waking up, going to work and all that, is not for work's sake people go. People are going for fear of not being able to pay their bills or to make, or to pay their bills, pay bills, house rent, school fees, and all that. It's not for love of work. Why? Something was sold that you cannot recover from. Now, because of time, let me move to the third one, the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for thinking. Thinking, prefrontal cortex, part of the brain, responsible for your thinking. Thinking is everything. That's why we talk emotions. Emotions can run you, can destroy you. But once you add thinking, when you have the emotional thinking, when you give sense to thinking, to emotion, you call it emotional intelligence. Now, once you talk about emotional intelligence, what are you talking about here? You're talking about adding response. To react is to act with feeling only. To respond is to act after combining or after blending thinking with feeling. Listen, react equals to feeling, action with feelings only. Thinking and feeling. The prefrontal cortex is responsible for the analysis of that event, of that impulse that came. Now, listen to the most profound word that was made on the planet by a man called Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl said, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. I say it again. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Nobody is a victim. As a parent, you are not a victim. You are not a victim. You understand your emotion. Stimulus and response. In the whole of human life, there are only two things: stimulus and response. I'm a pharmacist. My first degree is in pharmacy. It's about stimulus and response. You have the rabbit jejunum. You stimulate the rabbit jejunum with acetylcholine. What do you get? The response. It makes a mark. It does the drawing on the scale. Response. Stimulus, response. Stimulus is not within your control. Stimulus is mostly external, things that you cannot control. But however, response is within your total control. Response meaning you are thinking to your feeling. My child just dropped a glass of water or dropped a glass and it's broken. Then you come out very angry. Yes, very angry. Normal emotion, anger, good. Something is standing in your way. Something is broken. Money is lost and all that. Good. You get into the place where it was done. Very angry. Who broke this stuff? Who broke the point? Who broke it? You say, Mommy, I'm the one. Then you hit. Boom, 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 boom. Then the brain goes, excuse me. Once Mommy asks who broke this, what did you say? I said I did. And Mommy hit you. Did you tell the truth? Yes, that was the truth. I was the one who pulled. And Mommy hit you. Say, fine, okay. It's the next time. Once something happens, deny it. Then something happens the other day, and you came and the child says, no. I didn't do anything. I was one of the. Then the child is set free. So now the brain comes and says, you told the truth, you were hit, you were beaten. You told a lie, they set you free. So what do we want? Freedom. So keep lying. So that's the pathogenesis, the origin of lies. Once people tell the truth, we hit them, we punish them. So the brain goes into that preservation to say, we don't want to be hit. What do? We tell a lie, we're free. But what was meant to be done? Listen now. Response, stimulus, break. Something has happened, broken. Response. Oh, John, what happened? He said, Mommy, I was trying to drink water and I pulled this glass and it fell and broke. Mommy said, oh, really? Show me how you did it. Oh, you know what happened? You know, you have a very small palm and you see this glass is bigger than your palm. That was why it happened. So next time you use both palms to grab it and take it from the point. You see, I see my palm is bigger than yours. If I grab it with my one hand, now you have taught the child. You have trained the child. You know, so okay, pull the glass, let's see now. Then he does that and does it. But you know, that takes some time. It takes a process. It takes some patience. You don't want to do that. So instead of responding by doing what? That stimulus, you responded to it by training. And you have trained the child now how to pick the glass. You have sorted that child out. But you hit the child. You have more broken things coming. Broken chairs. Broken, plates. Because the brain has not learned nothing. Nothing was learned. You have just been in. You're repeating what was done to you. Yes, you've broken things, you were beaten. Repeat. Your brain has taken it. Repeat. You break, get beaten. Break, slap. Break, you break something. You don't do this, you get. So, and see, let me ask you. Anytime you think of anything, children think about you, Mommy. All they see is pain. So they run away. One thing about the mommy, the emotion you bring, you're always angry. For information, they are all children. Children. Emotions drive people. Emotions drive children. Emotions will help you. And did I tell you? Plato said, under all human activity lies emotions. All. So this is an age where we must look at our emotions, not just looking at the emotions and allowing them to run wild, but to add thinking to our feeling. That is emotional intelligence. Adding thinking to feeling. Thomas Edison said, of the 7.1 billion people on the planet, 5% think, 10% think they are thinking, 85% would rather die than think. Thinking is the most difficult work to do.
Okay, can we still hear Mr. Isaac? All right. Okay, so we have a bit of a network challenge with Isaac Onoja's network, but while we at it, you can attest and say that yes, this is the coach of the coach. Isaac Onoja is bringing it live. He's still here. He's just trying to reconnect again. Remember that well, Nigeria, yes, just hold on a bit. Isaac is here back. Thank you, boss.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Sorry, technology. So are you thinking or you're just in your feeling mode? Are you adding thinking to? Are you giving sense to your emotion? Are you seeing these children as children you can provide, you are supposed to provide for and protect? Or you see them as adults? Many adults treat children as adults. He should know. Why should they do that? Why should they pick on that? It's a child. It's a child. It needs you to protect. It needs you to provide. It's your child. If you don't look at your emotions, you will not be effective in your parenting. And don't forget this. Emotions carry energy. And for information, very high energy. Once things are connected emotionally, it becomes a problem. Let me say something here as I close. You know the hormone called oxytocin. Many people did not have significant oxytocin produced, and that's why many people are having problems connecting with their children. Oxytocin supports love. That's why once you are in a relationship, listen to this very seriously. Once you're in a relationship with a woman, man-woman relationship, once you start having sex with that woman, oxytocin levels increase and creates a bond of love. That's why when people are in relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, and they've started having sex and they've not started, no plans for anything. Let me tell you, even if there is trouble coming, when people even tell you, this man will do it, this woman is like this one, you will not hear nothing. You know what? Oxytocin helps to numb and to quiet the amygdala. The amygdala is the alarm system that tells you, no, this one, let's see what he did the other day. If you have to stop this, amygdala is quiet. That's why they tell you, I didn't know what happened. I saw it too, but because oxytocin has been released and the amygdala has been numbed. You must create that. Oxytocin comes with that bond between father, mother, and mother-child. How does it come? That close relationship, that hug, that connection, that interaction. If you don't have it, you see your children as, people who came to disturb you. But that's not the case. Ladies and gentlemen, to be an effective parent, you must look at your emotion. I've talked about what? The midbrain. the limbic system, the amygdala, hippocampus, the prefrontal cortex. I've also talked about the value of emotions. Emotions are necessary. Emotions are feedback. They are data. What do you do with them? They are not evil. Now, it's for you to be able to add thinking to your emotion. And once that is done, you become an effective parent. You raise children that become effective. Our world is having problems because of the family. Parenting is having problems. And to be able to look at it critically, we must look at our emotions. Many of us may need to check again. Why are we acting the way we are acting? Why am I so angry? Why am I so... See this beautiful child that everybody admires, and I'm always angry at this child. I met a woman, I'll end with this, that told me that she didn't know that she was so angry and so disinterested in her child until we had to take her back to a point that when, do you know what we found out? That it was when this child was born that she stopped her career. Listen, it was when the child was born that she stopped her career. She didn't go ahead with her career. So each time she sees this child, she sees somebody who has frustrated her career and made her to be what she is today. She's unhappy because she didn't pursue the career because of this child. So that child was suffering those negative energy from her because of what the child doesn't even know about. So many of us are like that. We are dealing with children. Maybe you had this child out of, you were not planning and you just had this child. You're supposed to go to the US, and once they discover you were pregnant, you couldn't go again. So the anger is on this child. Watch your emotions. You can recalibrate and say, no, this child is not the problem. Where is the problem? Emotions drive people, and people drive performance. For effective parenting, you must look at emotions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, boss. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. When I told you that my Oga is here, I wasn't mistaken. Yes, let's see what is it that happened to you in this session. Some parents said to me that they're already weeping. While your questions coming, we're going to play a video for you. Please put your questions in the comment section, and the video we play for you to see part of what we do in the TIP Inner Circle Academy. The TIP Inner Circle, it's our program in the academy that helps you, build you through the process. Trust me, you want to be there. All right? Just listen to this testimonial from the academy while you share your questions, and then we go. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Auntie Eti Maome. I'm the Responsible Teens Coach, Purity Lifestyle Ambassador, and an author. I was the first person to join the Inner Circle, aka the Yadas. It's been an amazing almost 2 years being in that group, in that circle. For me, what the Intentional Parents Inner Circle has done for me is it has helped me become a balanced parent. Two things: structure and nurture. It has helped me to better connect, love, and communicate with my children, as well as build a structure and a system where my parenting strategy is sustainable. In the Inner Circle, you get a great support. You have people that have gone ahead of you, people that are with you, and people that are coming behind you on this journey. So you're learning and you're teaching and you're sharing. Of course, you're becoming better at it every day. The Inner Circle has also, provided a platform for my husband to join in parenting in an amazing, non-stressful manner. Oh my goodness, I can't begin to share with you how we suddenly love to read books on parenting, because we do it in a lovely, encouraging way. The Inner Circle has been that go-to place for everything I need, everything we all need to move from just speaking, wishing, hoping, and praying that our children turn out right, to actually begin to put these things to practice. And then we are already seeing the testimonies. Our children are actually turning out right, not without mistakes, but we can see them actually shift. I want to thank God for Coach Wendy, my friend and coach, and I want to celebrate every Biada, in all the levels. I celebrate you, and I'm looking forward to having you join us in 2022. See you in the yard.
All righty. Thank you so much. And that was Etima Ome. Etima Ome is a responsible teens coach, and she's also going to be speaking at the annual conference. Her session is going to be talking about purity. Before we leave, if you want to join the TIP Inner Circle, please look at our number right under this stream. And of course, you have our contact. You're on Telegram. Please reach out to us to book a slot for 2020. It's an amazing journey. You've heard a lot of the things that Isaac said here. Someone said, I am crying. I am crying. I have 6 pages of jotting. Oh my God. Boss, you have questions that is here. We're going to take just a few questions because we can't take all of the questions. We have another session at 5:30. So we will take a few of the questions. So we are taking this one. It says, please, sir. So some of those who grew up with raised voice as form of correction, and we are seeing ourselves repeating same mistake in our younger ones. How can we correct it?
Okay, for raised voice, what has happened is the threshold of hearing has been altered in your brain. For instance, if you say, what do you call? Bingo, go back. Bingo, go back. Bingo, go back. Bingo, go back. Now, once bingo goes back at the highest threshold, dopamine is a reward hormone. It floods the brain, and the brain now takes it as that is the threshold for action. So the same thing with children. Once you have been raised with that kind of stuff that you have to be screamed at before you do something, your brain takes that. So you will have to do that unconsciously with your children. So this is what you need to do. You now have to be intentional and conscious to say, okay, I will speak calmly. I will speak friendly. Now, you will make mistakes. You will fail many times. That is the part we call rewiring. You are rewiring your brain. You are now bringing down the threshold to say, we can, like some Nigerians go abroad for training and they come back to tell me that they didn't hear anything those people were saying. I said, what do you mean? He said they were talking so low. I couldn't hear what they were saying. They were so low. The reason is, in our environment, there's too much of shouting. You see somebody on the phone. Hello? Hello? Are you hearing me? Hello? 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 Are you hearing me? Hello? 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 Now you keep raising your pressure, but you can rewire it.
Yes.
So you now, by yourself, begin to talk calmly. And with time, you will get there. Get somebody who can become like a coach for you to watch, sometimes you do something. You find that you fail. Now, this is a good thing when you're learning. Each time you're learning and you're failing, you're in the learning process. If you're not failing, you're not learning. What is called failure in neuroscience is that an activity is not yet done. Remember, I talked about stimulus and response. If this is 2 neurons, this is a neuron for talking effectively. Once you start talking initially, this is what will happen. Second step. These are all failures. Failure positions. Failure. You call it failure externally. This is what is called failure in neuroscience. Failure, you are pushing until once they connect, that's the activity. So you must keep doing it. So you will feel, oh, today again, I did it. Yes. Once you are conscious that I did it wrong today, you are in the learning process. But to be unconscious to say, no. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. This is how we were raised. Can't you see how I am? Did you turn out right? You like this, that you cannot start any business because of fear. Do you know where the fear came from? You were beaten to submission. You are a captive of fear.
Mm-hmm.
There are many people that their parents took entrepreneurship from them. Big entrepreneurship out of them. No risk. You jump from there, you are jumping, stop, sit down there, sit down there, sit down there. And we're destroying people. So just remote, you are doing what do you call reprogramming and rewiring of your brain. And with time, you get there. It's step by step. It's not automatic because this problem did not just occur in a day. It will take a while.
Thank you so much, boss. And of course, if you're asking that how will you join the TIP Inner Circle, all you need to do is to book a slot in 2021. You will see our details right on the screen while we take the next question. We just have 2 more questions to take, and then we would begin to wrap up. Thank you so much, Pharmacist Isaac Konoja. Thank you so much. And if you have gotten any value whatsoever in this session, make sure you take screenshots. Make sure you talk about the TIP Annual Conference on your social media handles. Don't leave here if you don't know talk about it. All right. The gift that we're going to give to any of these coaches is that we actually talk about them, tag them, and publicize them to the world. I tell you something. If you're going to pay Isaac, you can't pay Isaac. He's not brag, and I know he's here. You cannot pay Isaac Konoja as in for a single session. I know how much Isaac charges for you to sit with him. And so this is a real privilege. I would say that, this is, something that I do not take for granted myself. And sir, someone is asking, is it possible that every spank given to a child is done out of lack of emotional intelligence? If yes, how can I groom my emotions to keep from spanking? I think that okay, sir, you're back. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, you can chip in something. Go ahead, Wendy.
Oh, okay. No. I was going to say that he had already talked about programming, and I already talked about someone being able to hold you accountable, someone being able to, being in a system. I know a lot of the parents who came into the inner circle, messed up, right? In quotes, including myself. I used to be there where I used to think that, if I yell and all of the things that will happen and all of that. But I was so wrong. Immediately I started my journey to be able to, that's why I wrote the book From Yelling to Calm, to be able to actually train myself to do this. It helped me. But that's not, I just wishing it. There was something pharmacist said earlier about wishes. He said, desire, emotions, and knowledge. So your desire alone is not enough. You need the emotions and you also need knowledge to also do this. Over to you, boss. I'm a very good student.
Yeah. what emotion was there when you were spanking that child? Many times energy is negative. We are very quick to spank. Very quick because of the way we were raised. We thought spanking, pain, we thought pain was when you see pain demotivates. Now, and pleasure motivates. Now, for pain demotivating, it means that something happens to the brain for it to stop that action. But the brain will ask the next question: what exactly have I done wrong? So for you as a parent, before you go into all that, there's a way you look at a child, the child gets the message. See, we are wired with receptors for energy. Until I did energy medicine, I didn't know that your movement in an environment can actually make people think that you are there to attack them. Just walking. So what you need to do is to look at yourself, leave the child, deal with yourself, and tell yourself to recover. Socrates said, man, know thyself. In emotional intelligence, the first step is awareness, self-awareness. Once you become aware of yourself, to say, this thing I'm doing is counterproductive, then that is when change begins. But we have people who are still fighting the information. that no, you can't say that. It means I should just allow them to do, you know, children who they are. They will just become something else. They will not listen to me. Part of that parenting style is fear. You are afraid. What is it? The reason why you spank, you know why many parents spank children or hit children is fear.
Mm-hmm.
And fear is selfish fear that if I don't do this now, this child will do something that my name will spoil. See it now. My name will spoil, not the name of the child. Fear and selfishness. Now, in dealing with it, don't look at the child and say, number one, this child is innocent. This child is a scientist. Do you know all children are scientists, they are artists, they are actors, but adults, or I say this, all children were born geniuses. Adults, the geniusized children. You remove the genius from them. The guy who wants to do art, just take a pen and begin to scribble some things. The mom will say, stop, drop my pen for me. Drop, please. Leave here. I don't want you. You have just done something you don't know. Your child all the time comes and says, Mommy, come and see what I've just done. I've just tried to plate my... Please, stop all these things. Go and read your book. Go and read. You are de-geniusizing your child. So look at yourself first. Resolve your internal issues. Then you begin to flow with positive energy. Once energy flows, it will flow. Don't fake it. Once you're there, it begins to flow. You see that these are your children. And remember what we said, caregiver will provide and protect. Critical, you provide care, you protect from danger. If you are now the dangerous person, then you have now left parenting. You're no longer a parent, you are a tyrant, and your hippocampus will take that and store it, and it becomes a problem. Right.
Thank you so much, sir. And we have another session at 5:30. We take the very last question, and then we round off and we enter the next session. Trust me, the TIP annual conference is one that leaves you literally jittering. This is just the beginning. Yeah, trust me, you haven't been anywhere yet. We're just starting. This is just session 1 of 30 sessions. And some sessions are going to make you cry. Some sessions are going to make you leap for joy. Some sessions are going to make you think very deep. This is one of those sessions that give you all the emotions. Isaac Onoja is the minds and emotions celebrity. That's what I call him. You know, and when I tell you that I listened to somebody for 2 years, and I said to myself, no, I'm going to find him wherever he is. I don't know who he is, but I'm going to find him. Thank you so much, sir. Somebody asked a question about, the loud noises in class, where the parents, the teachers are screaming to the children and they're telling them, read after me. She says, what does that do? Does that also program the children? She just wants to know.
Yes, that programs the children. It programs them. And sometimes you even scare them. There's a way you ask a child a question in a very loud tone. The body goes into self-preservation. Preserve yourself. There's danger coming. It's like an attack. She wants to hurt you. Then the child would now forget what the child is supposed to remember to say. So we need this training should cut across. Teachers are also a form of parents. They do a lot. In fact, sometimes they even do more than parents at home, So they need to also know. I had a class for parents one time, for teachers. What I discovered, I wept. That if these are the people teaching our children, you will teach something at home, they will cancel it in school. So we must be partners, parents and teachers. That's why, in those days, they do Parents Teachers Association.
Oh, yes.
The other day I was at the Parents Teachers Association meeting, and I had to raise an observation. All the teachers sat in one place, one location, and no teacher spoke. I stood up, I said, we are not in a meeting here. Somebody's lying to somebody. Teachers are not talking because they don't want to, so that they will not say something the school owner will say, that we cannot grow like that. So it means that in class, you must be your tone of voice. These are children. And that's why a class is not supposed to be, you don't supposed to have so many children that you have to raise your voice so loud to be able to get them to hear you. It even stresses you as a teacher. So we must take these things again to our educational system to say that you speak, they'll hear you. Voice has energy, and the way you speak does not. You don't have to scream for people to hear you. So that again, we have to work on.
Thank you so much, Pharmacist Isaac Onoja. Give it up for my boss. Yes, 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 yes. You know, we don't do small things, yeah, where we come from. Thank you so much, Pharmacist Isaac Onoja. I am so blessed to have you in my life. You know, whenever, something happens, there a few days ago, I had shared something, and, he's one of the few people that will call me and say, Wendy, that thing you shared, check this, check that. And once I see his call, you stand. This is that coach. This is that person that you stand for. Thank you so much. Let us see the fire emojis right in the comment section. And please note, we're not going to be streaming these sessions live after today on our Facebook community. If you want to follow this conference, simply get into our YouTube community so that you can follow everything that we are saying. If you want to also catch replay of this session, you can catch it only on our YouTube community as well. We're going to leave it for people to be able to catch replay. People are already sending me messages that they were crying during the session. Isaac Onoja, I don't know what you did to people. In fact, I got messages.
You know something?
Yes, boss.
You know something? Once they are crying, it means we still have emotions left. It's a good thing.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Cry. It means you're still there. They're still grateful.
Yes.
So seeing that I need to learn is good.
Yes. Thank you so much. Remember to take screenshots. Remember to invite your friends, your family into this system. Trust me. Anytime I say, oh, you need to meet your children, and I think I love that, there's a perspective that just brings it home, that just tells you, the dangers and all of that. And I enjoyed thoroughly this session. My book is full. Anytime I listen, sometimes I'll tell pharmacists that, please, I just want to go and sit down in his office on his leg and just be taking notes. He laughs anytime I say it, but really, that's the way I feel, when he speaks. I listened to him on radio for 2 years, and I took notes every Thursday for 2 years. It's not ordinary, trust me. So, hey, when we bring you a resource person, trust me, you should be glad. And let me also say this. The TRP Annual Conference is not free. It's been paid for by people. That Isaac Onoja is seated here is not free. His time is paid for. That I'm seated here isn't free. The TIP Academy has had to put things together. Please be thankful and be grateful for that. All right. Thank you so much for joining us for this amazing first session. From Mrs. Isaac Onoja, what will be your last words to parents as we sign off?
Remember, fish don't talk about water. Remember, fish don't talk about water. And fish discover water last. Please try to begin to talk about water. Talk about things that matter. Become conscious. The fish is in an unconscious state in the water. That's why it's not talking about water. And fish discover water last. Don't forget that. Be conscious. Try to be conscious and be intentional. Thank you very much. I appreciate you all.
Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate you too. Try to be intentional. I love that word. Of course, you know that we are the intentional Parenting Academy. If you want to join the inner circle, like we said earlier, please send us a chat. You want to walk your journey. This journey, it's not as you know it, as you used to know it. And Isaac Onoja is out of the station. Thank you so much. Remember that you need to actually take screenshots. Talk about what you've heard here. Share the codes. Tag us. That's the payment we're asking you to do. That's the gratefulness we're telling you to be, right? Please do that for us. Join us in 10 minutes where we bring Rebecca Harper all the way from Canada to come and tell you about civility. Rebecca Harper is one of the world's most renowned civility coaches. We don't do small things. Yes, we bring it to you the way we talk about it. Thank you, and see you at 5:30.